So, Benson, you seem stressed.
The school assembly is tomorrow, and if you haven't learned anything, we won't get the plane ticket home.
Benson, come on. You gotta relax. Life tends to work out. You just gotta learn how to coast. That's what I'm doing, and I'm having a great time.
No! Rigby, don't you see? If you don't study, you're gonna fail, and you'll never turn into someone better. You're still making the same mistakes as back home. Do you really want to have flown halfway around the world, only to find out you're always gonna be the same no matter where you go?
What's up, guys? I think Benson gets a lot of flack in the regular show fan base, and this is understandable. I mean, the target demographic when the show came out was males between the ages of 14 and 21, which puts them directly parallel to the main characters Mordecai and Rigby. And since they're the main characters, and most of the time the episodes are written from their perspective, we're sort of meant to see Benson as their nagging jerk of a boss with anger issues, at least at first. But Benson is quite literally not only one of the coolest bosses I've ever seen, he's my favorite character of the entire show, and in my opinion has some very solid yet subtle character development throughout the entire series. Benson's just a regular guy, and I think that's the reason why I like him so much. He had a wild streak when he was young, like being an all-star drummer in a world-famous rock band, and having his own run-in with stick hockey obsession, just to name a couple things, and I imagine that because of this, he probably sees a little bit of himself in Mordecai and Rigby, which helps to explain why, despite the fact that he can be a jerk to them sometimes, he also hasn't fired them 1,000 times over. Fans talk about Benson having anger problems, and earlier on in the show especially, this is very true. I mean, I would say that 95% of the time, Mordecai and Rigby do deserve to get their asses chewed out like a roll of bubble tape, but earlier on, one of Benson's faults is poor leadership skills stemming from his desire to always be in control. I think that as the show goes on, and as he eases up on micromanagement, he begins to really hit his stride as a boss. And let's be real here, it's not like Benson's anger comes out of nowhere most of the time. Let's just put ourselves in Benson's shoes for a second. You have a guy who's always trying his absolute best to keep the park running smoothly. He takes pride in his work, he commends his employees for a job well done, he takes them out for dinner to reward them for putting in extra effort, he takes them out to karaoke nights, he pulls out all the stops to let his employees know how much he appreciates their work and cares about them as people, and then is constantly having that effort shit all over by Mordecai and Rigby not being able to do tasks as simple as raking the fucking leaves without taking a video game break, or blowing up all of the fireworks for the 4th of July celebration, or wrecking Thanksgiving dinner, or totaling the golf cart, or getting their coworkers fired, or knocking him out and doing a weekend at Bernie's with his unconscious body so they don't get fired, or destroying the entire park on multiple occasions. If Benson had been anybody else, Mordecai and Rigby would have been out before they had the chance to unpack their stuff on day one. I do appreciate how as the show develops though, and Mordecai, Rigby, and Benson all begin to gain respect for each other, their interactions become a lot less frustrating. Mordecai and Rigby are still morons to the end though. Benson's personal life isn't the primary focus of very many episodes, but we do get glimpses of that scattered throughout the show. Like early on, we learn that Benson and his neighbor Audrey have a mutual attraction, but neither of them have acted on it yet. They keep waiting for each other to make the first move. But in later episodes, you can see her as a background character in a few of their social situations, which implies that the two are now in a relationship. A couple of seasons later though, Benson reminds everyone that they broke up.
What about Audrey?
We broke up, remember?
I don't recall.
I was sad for months. I loafed around the house.
That's not making any...
Muscleman and Pops, you took me to get ice cream. Skips, you made me train for that marathon. In fact, all you guys had a role in my lengthy healing process.
I don't remember any of this.
Second order of business.
It seems to be implied that the relationship fell apart because of his workaholic nature. And speaking of addiction, chicken wings in this show exist both as literal chicken wings and a placeholder for alcohol, which kind of puts them in like a really weird spot when like the group is out, because I don't really know if they're supposed to be out getting food or out getting drinks. I don't think it matters really. But anyway, after Benson's breakup with Audrey, Benson gets really into chicken wings. This is shown to us in short segments in a few episodes and then directly referenced in a flashback where Benson is dealing with his breakup with Audrey.
Woo-hoo! Audrey, who?
Yep.
By the end of the show, it looks like Benson has sort of reeled this in a bit. He's able to casually enjoy wings a couple of times on a few separate occasions in the last 2 seasons without going overboard, which to me indicates that he may not necessarily be a full-blown alcoholic, but could be in dangerous territory as somebody who does turn to substances when they're going through hard times or under great amounts of stress. He does eventually find love in the final season with Pam, who doesn't get much character development, but seems like a pretty good fit for a boy. Benson, in my opinion, is very much like Squidward from SpongeBob or Mr. Bleakman from Clifford the Big Red Dog, in that when you're watching these shows as a kid, you have this image of no fun, crusty-ass adults. But when you grow up, you realize that even though they might be a little bit uptight, living next to either of these guys, or having these two doofuses work for you, and being directly responsible for your job security, would definitely have you constantly on edge and one bad day away from wondering what the metal on the barrel of a shotgun tastes like. Once everything is said and done, Benson is a solid dude who has real life experience doing all kinds of crazy things, takes pride in his work, and values his employees, even though he may be going through his own internal struggles. And I find him much more of a compelling character than Mordecai, who bumbles his way through the entire show and remains directionless for basically its entire run, and even more compelling than Rigby, who I'll admit had a really solid character arc for the last couple of seasons. I don't know, maybe if this video does good, I can do a Rigby video. If you like this video, do me a solid and subscribe to the channel. I'm sure that there's plenty of content here for you to enjoy. And if not now, there definitely will be in the future. I have 2 more scripts written right now. One is for a video on The Bear, which I'm very excited about, and then another one is about the future of subscriptions, and those will be coming up in the next few weeks. Along with subscribing to the channel, leave a like or a comment and let me know what you liked or even what you didn't like. And let me know what kind of topics you might want me to cover in the future. I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say. As always, guys, my name is Isaiah, and thank you so much for watching my video.